Opinion 1. Are parents best teachers? Obviously, the first teachers we have in our lives in most cases are our parents. They teach us to walk, to speak, and to have good manners before we reach the real world. More than even the professional teachers that we have at school, parents are generally the most involved in the development and education of children. Almost for sure our parents are the best teachers at the beginning of our lives, which actually corresponds to the parent's role in nature. Parents are most committed and involved in teaching their children. They have a kind of instinct to sacrifice a part of themselves for the betterment of their children. They love us and have great patience while passing down the knowledge to us. They wish us a success and thus will not teach us bad things. And of course, implicit learning occurs when children unconsciously copy some of their parents' habits and styles of behavior. During the second stage of child development, adolescence, parents can still be in the best position to offer advice even though the children might not accept it. In this case, perhaps the child's friends would be the best teachers. Adolescents are notoriously rebellious in many cultures and may automatically reject any advice from their parents. My first marriage, for instance, was solely a matter of doing the opposite when my parents tried to intrude in offering their advice. So in such matters, parents should be much more flexible and be rather the partners with their children. So we can see that being a teacher of growing child become more and more complicated case as the time passes, and many parents are simply not able to meet the increased demands. On the other hand, I would say that parents are not professional teachers and they tend to be very biased by their love of their children. So wishing good things and an easy life may prevent children from maturation. In any case, parents usually can present only one viewpoint of the world, while good teaching should be based on different attitudes. Thus, when children go to school and have a great diversity of teachers, they learn much more than their parents could probably give them. Furthermore, once our parents get older, they become more conservative and cannot always be objective in regard to modern trends and fashions. Thus we need to take their advice with caution during that period. However, some kind of intuition that I believe shared between relatives about what everybody needs and great love that exists in families still makes our parents very good teachers and advisors at any time. In conclusion, while parents are not the ideal teachers, and well-rounded children will generally need a great diversity of teachers in their lives in order to have a more accurate view of the world, parents are generally the most committed of all teachers and have the greatest emotional investment in their children and their future. Opinion 2. Are parents best teachers? Our entire education system is based on what we accumulate each day of our life. In spite of the fact that school teachers are those who give us lots of information in a variety of fields, our parents are still the best teachers. They start their educational process as soon as we were born and never stop teaching us. In the initial years of our life, our parents are involved in guiding us, in modulating our personality and making us understand the differences between right and wrong. When I was 5, my parents bought me a dog. They taught me how to take care of him, feed him, play with him and bathe him. Thus, I learned that we all have responsibilities. Even if parents are not specialized in education, their role in teaching the children to be aware of the need of improving their knowledge at school is tremendous. Our parents are not supposed to teach us math, chemistry or biology, but they are very much involved in giving us lessons about being independent, strong and confident in ourselves. As my mother said to me, "Fight your own battles because I will not be always able to protect you." Teenagers have to be informed about all the negative effects that can occur if using drugs, drinking alcohol, or smoking. Regarding this issue, parents have to cooperate with school teachers to make children aware of those possible risks. I believe that parents are the best teachers because their lessons last forever. My parents are old now. Even when I am a grown-up person, I consider that they can still give me good advice when I need them, based on their life experience. My parents play the most important role in my education during my life, and I will always be grateful for everything they have taught me. Opinion 3. Are parents best teachers? Throughout all the years in my life, I was influenced by my parents in many fashions, from the way of thinking to the trifle everyday habits. No doubt, we inherit the gene from our parents and get basic knowledge and norms from them. What we learned from our parents in the early years will be encoded in our mind and be reflected in nearly every aspect of our behaviors. But in terms teaching, I do not think it's our parents who are the best teachers. As it is known to all, a child will be better trained with a systematic education. However, except those parents who are school teachers themselves, few parents grasp the systematic way of teaching. On the one hand, children can only learn a large scope of knowledge step by step from formal education at schools. On the other hand, the parents can only teach their children sporadic knowledge. It is obvious that the young will be better equipped through formal education in classroom. From the emotional angle, the bond between child and parents are so tight that the parents cannot give a more objective instruction than a school teacher can. Some parents tend to spare their children from hard working and, to the extreme, some even spoil their children to do everything they want. All these are resulted from parents' love toward children. But from an objective angle, hard working is sometimes a necessary step towards success. Parents should not be blamed for loving their children, but such love may become obstacle for objective instruction. With the coming of the knowledge economic, we may find that our parents' knowledge is becoming obsolete. In a changing world, the young are always the first to fashion the news ideas and technology. The elderly, however, are always not used to such rapid changes. Thus, conflicts are inevitable between parents and their children. Accordingly, the young are no longer willing to commit to their parents' ideas. To catch the tide of such changes, it is of the best interest for the young to learn from the open world instead of from the obsolete knowledge of their parents. Opinion 4. Are parents best teachers? Nowadays, some may hold the opinion that parents are the best teachers. But others have a negative attitude. As far as I am concerned, I agree with this statement because, obviously, the first teachers we have in our lives in most cases are our parents. They teach us how to walk, how to speak, and what are good manners and bad manners before we reach the real world. Therefore, parents are the people who influence their children most, and children will carry on qualities of their parents. More than even the professional teachers that we have at school, parents are generally the most involved in the development and education of children. The reasons are presented below. One of the primary reasons is that our parents are the teachers at the beginning of our lives, which actually corresponds to the parents' role in nature. First, parents are most committed and involved in teaching their children and have a kind of instinct to sacrifice a part of themselves for the betterment of their children. Second, they love the children and have great patience while passing down the knowledge to us. They wish us to become success and thus will not teach us bad things. Surely, children will unconsciously copy some of their parents' habits and styles of behavior. Besides, parents will become their first role models. There is also a more subtle point we must consider. During the second stage of child development, adolescence, parents can still be in the best position to offer advices even though the children might not accept it. In this case, perhaps the child's friends would be the best teachers. Adolescents are notoriously rebellious in many cultures and may automatically reject and advice from their parents. In such matters, parents should be much more flexible and rather be friends with their children. However, many parents simply are not able to meet the increased demands, being teachers of their growing children. What is more, I would say that parents are not professional teachers and they tend to be very biased by their love of their children. As a result, wishing good things and an easy life may prevent children from maturation. Frequently, parents usually present only one viewpoint of the world, while good teaching should be based on different attitudes. For this reason, children may learn probably more if they have a great diversity of teachers other than the parents. Furthermore, technology develops very quickly, and parents may not always be objective in regard to modern trends and give children proper advices. However, I believe that the care and love among family members still makes our parents very good teachers and advisors at any time. Taking into account of all these factors, we may reach the conclusion that parents are obviously the most committed of all teachers. Although well-rounded children will generally need a great diversity of teachers, parents can provide them the greatest emotional support in their lives without a substitute. All this is not to say that to learn from parents is useless. In fact, even in the rapidly changing world, the scope of parents' knowledge still has great influence on their children, especially on young children. But for the young to get the most needed knowledge, they should not solely rely on what they learned from their parents. Topic 5. Are parents best teachers? Different people will give different responses to this question from their own characters, emotional concerns and even educational backgrounds. However, when it comes to me, I believe that parents are our best teachers for the following reasons. In the first place, parents are the people who are closest to us and who understand our real needs best. From infancy on, our parents have witnessed every step in both our physical and mental development. They share every hint of happiness or unhappiness with us, and they even know what a little gesture of us might indicate. Based on such a deep understanding, our parents will teach us what we are interested in and what we are not. For instance, they can often buy books on our favorite topics such as sea animals and astronomical objects. Little by little, we can mature our minds and broaden our horizons in our favorite fields. Or are we prospective artists, scientists, teachers, or even business people? Our parents might tell that at our early ages. Consequently, they will give us specific encouragement and abundant resources in our favorite fields. Sometimes, our parents can even point out a direction to our future professional goals. Will other people do that for us based on such a solid understanding of us? In the second place, our experienced parents are our best teachers of today's complicated society. From our teachers at school, we can learn sophisticated knowledge. But how can our teachers tell us how to communicate with others, how to deal with strangers, how to behave in different occasions, and how to make important decisions of our daily life? Only our parents, who will spend their whole life loving us, caring us, will tell us how to steer our own boats in the ocean of life without selfish consideration. Admittedly, our friends and school teachers could provide us with valuable advice now and then, and maybe it will be easier for us to follow their suggestions. Their effects on us cannot be neglected or replaced by our parents. And parents might spoil their children or even interfere with children's privacy because of love. To be honest, the roles of these two kinds of people cannot be replaced by each other. However, it seems to me that only our parents, who will spend their whole life with us, will be our best teachers, not only for now but also for our whole life. All in all, if all the factors are contemplated, we can easily reach a conclusion that parents are not only our first teachers but also our best teachers. Let's be carefully aware of this point and take better care of our parents to repay their efforts to teach us. Opinion 6. Are parents best teachers? Parents are the most committed, the most influential, and almost the best teachers any child can have. The amount of time a child interacts with parents makes them the most influential force in a child's life. The child gets to learn the most basics of things like walking, speaking and interacting with others. It is under the protections of parents that a child learns to behave in society and to comfort him or herself. Although parents are the most influential teachers in their children's life, they may not be regarded as the best teachers. Parents generally provide a biased view of the world. They always favor their child, and thus they cannot provide a complete panoramic view of the society. Also, parents may set a bad example for their child by abusing and fighting amongst themselves. Psychologists and recent crime charts have proved that young outlaws generally come from disrespectful families, and have grown up in extreme environments. A child interacts with many kinds of teachers at schools and colleges. Although these teachers, being professionals, have limited time to devote to a child, they provide a complete and diverse view to their students. They provide unbiased guidance to a child. During the years of adolescence, children tend to be aggressive and non-conforming to others' views. So the parents need to act like friends rather than teachers to get their experiences through to their children. Eventually, it is the parents who provide an environment for a child to develop and mature, and thus have the capacity to be the best teachers to their child. What is important is to provide an unbiased view to their child, to motivate independent thinking and actuate timely maturation.